Welcome to this episode of the Mid-Life Reimagined podcast, Life Beyond Menopause. I'm your host, Sally Thibault. And in this episode today, I'm going to share with you perhaps my favorite principle in the 10 principles of wellness that I write about in my book, Strong, Clear, and Unapologetic, and that is to exercise effectively. It is so important as we age to be exercising every day, but how you do it is critical. I began my career in the fitness industry in the 1980s. Yes, that long ago. And of course, everything back then was about cardio. Longer, harder, faster. The more you did, the more calories you burnt. The more calories you burnt, the skinnier you were. And now we've swung totally the other way around as we understand the impact of that type of exercise on our bodies as we age. So in this episode, I'm going to be sharing with you principle number 3 in the 10 principles of wellness to exercise effectively and the 6 pillars that make up that principle. First one, strength, building muscle and building resilience. Now, why this is so important as we move into our midlife is that muscle protects bones, joints, and metabolism. It also increases your immunity and reserves your independence. You know, this is about longevity. This is about creating an exercise routine that's part of your life that you will do for the rest of your life. So you have the energy and the vitality in order to keep moving through life. You know, strength through muscle mass is exceptionally important as we age. Just for simple things about moving around, not only is it good for movement and energy, it actually look good. You can, get away with wearing sleeveless tops and dresses as you age. But what's important in this is that your muscles are like the engine of your body. And in particular in these days, focusing on things that build your immunity are incredibly important. But did you also know that strong legs often mean a strong brain? And research has shown that doing strength training for your legs actually can reduce your risk of Alzheimer's and dementia. And so focusing on building that strength in your legs and your upper body is exceptionally important, especially as we age and we move through it. So things that are important, things like squats, lunges. But I also am a great believer that every woman should be able to do at least 10 full push-ups in her life. Now, that doesn't mean you start off doing a full push-up on the floor. You can start off with just your arms against the wall and moving forward. Start off on your knees as you are down on the ground, but aiming to get to 10 full push-ups as you age. There's nothing that makes you feel more confident and more energetic. It works nearly every single muscle in your body. So pop that in your exercise prescription. Can I get to 10 full push-ups? Now, I want to also say here, it's about doing things gradually, but doing things consistently, which I'll talk about in just a minute. So if you've never done a push-up before, just start slow and gradually build up. It's something that you should be doing probably every day. The second pillar of this principle is movement. Consistent movement. Now, we sit too much. Our grandparents didn't sit as much as we do, but we do because of our lifestyle, being on the computer, watching more TV than probably is, good for us. Even just driving the car, you're constantly sitting. Now, when you move regularly through the day, it helps your cardiovascular health by improving your blood pressure and improving your circulation. It improves your lymphatic flow and blood sugar control, but also is mental clarity. Honestly, if you're sitting at your desk and you're trying to sort something out, going for a walk is the best thing that you can do to clear your head. The other part about movement is looking at the ways that you can incorporate what we call zone 2 training. So for instance, for me, I like to go to the gym 3 times a week to do my strength training. And the other days of the week, at least 2 to 3 days a week, I do what's called zone 2 training. What does that mean? Zone 2 training is when you are walking, so let's say 20 to 30 minutes, and interspersed in that time is you are challenging yourself to walk as hard and fast as you can, anywhere from 20 seconds to 2 minutes, to increase your heart rate. And that helps with your blood flow, bone density and lubrication, and as mental clarity. And it's about kind of shocking your body rather just a slow walk. Studies are showing now that actually that 20-minute zone 2 exercising is way better than even a 1-hour walk. So see where you can incorporate that. There's lots of talks about steps, how many steps we get in a day. A study out of Sydney University 2 years ago showed 10,000 steps was kind of a marketing exercise when they first introduced petameters many years ago back in the 70s. But really, it's about anywhere from 6,000 to 7,000 steps over the day. The course of the day has been shown to help with reducing blood sugar levels, increasing your fitness. And it doesn't have to be done all at once. So you might do a 20-minute walk in the morning with some HIIT. That might be around 3,000, 4,000 steps. Then general move through the day. So every hour or two, you want to get up from your computer and go for a walk, perhaps around your office, around your house. And if you can't do that, where we are in North America, and oftentimes our weather has a great deal to do with what we can and can't do. Just doing 10 power squats as you're in the middle of the day, and it takes you about 10 seconds to do them, will help increase your energy, help reduce your blood, or improve the blood sugar, but also just improve the oxygen to the brain. Number 3, and this is one of my absolute, I think being an ex-fitness instructor, it's the way you do the exercises. Way more important than how many repetitions you do. So let's talk about strength training. When you're doing your strength training, making sure you're getting that complete movement. So making sure that when you're doing a bicep curl, for instance, you're actually taking down that full range of motion, not locking your elbows, but keeping them a bit soft. You're far better off doing 5 of those brilliantly than 12 of them not so brilliantly. The second thing about form is that it helps improve your posture. So when you're walking down the street, see if you can catch your reflection in the storefronts. How are you walking? Be aware of how you hold yourself. Now, I think ages us more than poor posture. Nothing gives us more injuries than poor posture. Neck injuries, shoulder injuries, and the way we sit during the day, crouched over a computer. Making sure you're bringing your shoulders back, and I bet you're doing that right now. You're lifting up from the hip through the abdominals. So you're actually working your abdominals at the same time. But when you're walking down the street, think about lifting up, not crouched down, but lifting up. Lift up that energy through your body. And I tell you, you will look better, you will feel better. Number 4 is flexibility. This is staying open and staying agile. Again, this improves your range of motion and helps reduce your risk of injury. So whenever you're doing a workout, whether that's a strength workout or whether that's a walk, make sure you end it with doing some flexibility, stretching out those hamstrings, stretching out the chest and the shoulders and the arms. Really important to stay active and increasing that range of motion, again, helps you protect you from injury. Number 5, and something I think we don't often focus enough on, and that's balance. Focusing on your balance. For many women as they age, it's actually falls that actually cause a great deal of injury and can age people really quickly. You know yourself, if you have an injury and you have to step back from being able to move daily through that, it can really impact on your confidence and your energy levels. So you want to ensure that you are activating the brain regions that are tied to memory and focus by focusing on your balance. I recommend to people just start off by standing on one foot. While the kettle's boiling, while you're chopping the onions for dinner, just stand on one foot. And then try standing on one foot with eyes closed. Make sure you've got something to hang on to. But your balance is exceptionally important. Here in Vancouver, we've got a lot of sidewalks that are uneven because of the tree roots that grow underneath them. And can't tell you how many times I have avoided falling, that I am so grateful that I work on my balance and I can right myself really quickly. It sends great messages to the brain. Just your ankle movement in helping your staying balanced is sending those wonderful messages to the brain. The last one, last pillar of principle number 3, is consistency. Momentum over motivation. It's consistency that works. All those challenges, those 6 weeks challenges or 90-day challenges are great to get you started. But honestly, you are way better off by doing something every day. Small movements every day. Going to the gym 3 times a week. Making sure you're getting out and doing a walk, zone 2 walk 3 times a week. That consistency pays off. And it's habit building. It takes, 6 to 8 weeks for a habit to really lock itself into place. The more consistent you are, it becomes a part of your life. Remember, we were talking about longevity here. You don't want to just start a program and stop it because it's too hard or too boring or it hurts too much. So when you're looking at beginning or continuing on with your fitness program, think of ways you can build that consistency. Don't set aside an hour 5 times a week to exercise. If you're so busy, you can't do it. Find a time in your day, diarize it, make it a priority. For me, it's mornings. Honestly, if I don't work out first thing in the morning, it's not going to happen. It's just the way it is for me. What's the time that works best for you? Are you a morning person and you love getting out in the early morning when it's peaceful and quiet? Or do you like exercising at night? It doesn't matter when you exercise. What matters is that you do it regularly. I hope this has helped. I invite you, I'll put a link below, to read my book, Strong, Clear and Unapologetic, where we focus on the 10 principles of wellness. These principles help your longevity. That's what we're doing this for, to be the stronger, clearer, and most unapologetic versions of ourselves for the rest of our lives. What you're doing today should be supporting you for the next 30 or 40 years. How do you want that to look? Question to leave yourself. Thanks for joining me. See you next week. I hope you enjoy this episode of Mid-Life Reimagined, Life Beyond Menopause. And remember to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. I look forward to bringing another interview to you next week. For a woman, you're just going to want to listen to this one. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.